Nacht's last name was revealed. Nacht, Faust. Faust is one of the greatest literary works in world history. Today we show how his name explains why Nacht is actually an impersonator, and his true identity is Nacht's brother, who's working together with the devils to revive his brother Nacht. Furthermore, we explain why Liebes is already in the Spade Kingdom and part of the tree creation ritual. Black Clover. With the new Black Clover volume, Tabata revealed Nacht's character profile, showing his last name, Faust. Faust is the name of a fictional character in Johann Wolfgang von Goethe's Faust, one of the greatest works of modern German literature. But before we start, we have to mention that there's a possibility that Nacht is not the real Nacht. This is very important. The first part of the book is called Nacht, which is definitely no coincidence that Nacht has the same name as the first part of the book. So Faust is definitely a reference to Black Clover. The character Faust is the protagonist. He's interested in magic, especially necromancy, and necromancy is the magic that deals with conjuring and resuscitation of the dead. In Black Clover it seems like Nacht has lost his brother, and so the idea of Nacht working with the devils to revive his brother is very possible. We will soon explain why he has to work with the devils. But first, it is very important to understand that the Nacht may not be the same Nacht that was in the same squad with Yami. There are a few indications for this assumption. For example, Julius did not know that Nacht was possessed by the devils, and Jack can remember Nacht, but the Nacht he remembered had a different magic other than shadow magic, and even Nacht himself admitted that this man is gone. And that's not unlikely, as it happened before, and the similarities are extremely accurate with Patri and Licht. Of course, you can say that this is a bad writing if Tabata repeats the story, but it is only bad writing if it is obviously noticeable, and if not, then this is an insanely good foreshadowing that has to be noticed first. I will explain to you exactly why Nacht is possibly an impersonator. For this theory, we simply call this Nacht Fake Nacht. Fake Nacht and Patri are very similar in many ways. Patri impersonated Licht and even took his name and appearance. Licht means light in German and Patri has light magic. But the real Licht had no light magic, although his name means light in German. And here we have Nacht, and Nacht means night in German. Since there's no night magic, it is called shadow magic. The Nacht Jack remembered had no shadow magic, although his name refers to shadow magic. But fake Nacht does have shadow magic and is impersonating the real Nacht, taking his name and appearance. This is exactly the same that happened with Patri and Licht. That means that the real Nacht could possibly be dead. And now, fake Nacht, just like Patri, who tried to revive Licht, now tries to revive the real Nacht. And with this, there's a reference to Goethe's story Faust, where Faust has a great interest in necromancy, and necromancy is the magic to revive dead people. If we now assume that this is really not the real Nacht, then we know that fake Nacht remembered his brother, and thus the true identity of fake Nacht can only be Nacht's brother, who is now trying to revive his brother, the real Nacht, who may have died while spying on the Spade Kingdom. That would explain why fake Nacht hates the Black Bulls, especially Yami, because the real Nacht was the vice captain of the Black Bulls, and fake Nacht, who's Nacht's brother, is now blaming the Magic Knights. And that will also explain why fake Nacht could so easily betray the Clover Kingdom, since they are the ones to blame for the death of the real Nacht. I know Nacht's brother has white hair, but there are many possibilities why the hair color could be dark now. We saw appearance changing, transformations, hair color changes, and so on. In Black Clover, literally everything is possible. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a third character involved whose name is Nuit, which means night in French. That person will be a friend of the real Nacht, just as Lumière was Licht's friend, and Lumière means light in French. And if no third character is involved, then maybe the name of fake Nacht, Nacht's brother, is Nuit. And Nuit is the first and one of 3 goddesses of the Book of Law, written by Aleister Crowley, one of the greatest influences of the occult and member of the real Order of the Golden Dawn, from whom Tabata got all the inspiration for the dark part of Black Clover. Things like the Tree of Life, Qliphoth, grimoires, magic, rituals, curses, and much more. Basically everything that is dark in Black Clover is written somewhere in this book, but also things like the 4 elemental spirits and other magical creatures and systems. So there is a possibility that a character called Nuit exists and is related to Nacht. But that's not everything. If we analyze the comparison more deeply, we find that Licht is the father of Yuno's elf soul, and if we reflect that on the real Nacht, it could be that the real Nacht could actually be Asta's father. Here we see how Nacht's brother, who in our theory is fake Nacht, calls his brother a moron. And when Gimodello says to fake Nacht that Asta is a moron, fake Nacht smiled and said, yes, he is. Because maybe Asta reminded him of his brother Nacht. Of course, it could be a coincidence that it happened only 2 chapters apart, and it has no relation to each other at all. But if not, then this is an indication that the fake Nacht is Asta's uncle, and the real Nacht is Asta's father. That makes Asta's last name Faust. Asta Faust.
One day, Faust was on his way home when he met a black dog who followed Faust to his room and then turned into the devil Mephisto. Gimodello is a dog, and it's the first devil that Nacht showed us. Gimodello even appears that he is Nacht's favorite or the main devil, so Gimodello could have been inspired by Mephisto, but Mephisto may also be a completely different devil. Faust and Mephisto began a conversation about Faust's worth and desperation about his current life situation. In order to find higher knowledge, Faust makes a deal with the devil. The devil promises to serve Faust on earth, and if Mephisto can fully satisfy Faust, he will be his servant in hell all eternity. For Nacht in Black Clover, this means that Nacht actually has his own ideology and agenda. Apart from the interests of the Clover Kingdom and the goal of the devils and the Dark Triad, he has voluntarily made a contact with the devils for his own interests. But if he has to accomplish his goals, he must serve the devils for all eternity. With that, Nacht and Lucifer would have to be in close contact with each other, since Mephisto is seen either as Lucifero, the king of hell, or as someone who works loyally for Lucifero. In any case, Lucifer has the ability to possess all devils of lower rank, which means that whenever he wants, he can possess one of Nacht's devils and thereby come into contact with Nacht. The fact that Nacht could have simply tricked Asta and teleported him straight to the Spade Kingdom is possible, considering that Nacht may have no other choice, as he may have to obey the devils. And the question of why he would train Astas so that he learns the Unite form even though he works with Lucifero can be answered in 2 ways. Number 1, he needs Asta to absorb all the anti-magic from Liebes body so that Lucifero can possess Liebe without his possessive magic being cancelled. The devils want to trick Asta and Liebe into destroying the gate to the underworld. We know that Lucifero needs Liebe for research to find a way to have his own body in the human world without having a contact with a human. Some of you have wondered why Lucifero needs both the Tree of Death and Liebe to manifest his real body in the human world. Ask yourself why Tabata should reveal that Lucifero needs Liebe after revealing that the Tree of Death is necessary. Obviously, Liebe is still important for Lucifero to achieve his goal, and obviously, if Nacht worked with the devils, he wouldn't tell the Clover Kingdom that Asta is needed too, but find a way to get him secretly into the Spade Kingdom without anyone noticing. And this is exactly what might have happened. As far as we know, the gate to the underworld is heavily protected by mana, and only Liebe was able to get through as he has no mana. The Tree of Death is a mana-based creation and should not be able to break through the underworld gate, but Liebe has the ability to destroy all kinds of mana-based spells and constructions. Even if Liebe didn't have this ability back then, he could destroy the gate now, just as Asta did in the dungeon when he destroyed the huge mana-protected door to the treasure room. Lucifero is obviously in contact with Nacht through all his devils, and Nacht has been watching Asta the entire time. So Lucifero knows exactly what Asta and Liebe are capable of. And here is a very important point to mention. When William created his tree, Asta combined his anti-magic with Licht to free the elven souls using the magical annihilation of the demon destroyer's sword. And now we have another tree that is being created. But this time it will be Nacht with his shadow magic. So if it works with Licht, then maybe it works somehow with shadow magic and Asta's anti-magic with the demon destroyer's sword. There must be definitely a reason why Lucifero needs Liebe in addition to the Tree of Death. And it definitely has to do something with the gate and anti-magic. If Nacht really works for Lucifero, and if Nacht has already brought Asta into the Spade Kingdom, Asta and Liebe could even be a part of the ritual already. We know that for 3 days, Yami and William have been used to create the tree, and on the 4th day, the first devil appears, which means that if Asta and Liebe have been in this mysterious place for 3 days already, that they already be part of the ritual, and it may be the reason why the roots can enter the gates. With that, Asta and Liebe would not have to destroy the gates, but only help the roots get into the underworld. And this could explain why Dante insisted on waiting another 6 months, because if Asta and Liebe were meant to destroy this gate to the underworld or fill the roots with anti-magic so that the tree could reach the underworld, then Asta may not be able or ready to perform the devil binding ritual yet. Nacht, who was spying on Asta, would have reported this to Lucifero, and Lucifero could have asked Dante to wait longer. We know that Dante couldn't give an exact answer when Zenon asked him why they waited 6 months. And since we know that Lucifero lied to Dante, that he does not know Liebe, it is only logical that Lucifero did not tell the real reason here either, because it's all about Liebe. There are other interesting things about Nacht in relation to Faust, but these do not fit this video. We'll be making a separate video for this, so subscribe if you don't want to miss it. Don't forget to smash the like button if you like this video, and tell us in the comments what you think about our theory. So see you guys in the next video. Have a good day. Yami out.
I love my niggas to death. We ain't shit without our own boys. The only thing a nigga got left.